Well, hi guys. It is February the 1st. Tuesday. Like I said, I've been getting back on this thing and literally trying to remember what goes where. One of the things I cannot find is the hose piece of it's a T that goes to the brake booster, and I think there's a hose over there that goes that way. I can't remember. I thought this was part of it. It's not. Looks like I'm going to have to go find the 7.3 truck someplace and look. But been a couple hours going over this, looking, trying to figure some things out. One of the problems I had when I took it apart was this, the radiator. In that there's a fitting just like this that when I was starting to take the clamp off, it broke off right there. And I have spent the last 3 hours getting this apart. And what is really stupid to this is the fact that they put a steel fitting in a brass fitting in a plastic radiator. Well, plastic radiator to a brass fitting that's underneath this. They screwed this into it that has a brass inside, then put like this a steel ferrule on it, barb fitting. And it's like, why? Well, I ground this down flush. Thought, well, it's got a 1/4 inch hole. I tried my littlest, well, no, tried the easy out underneath this size, and I was really putting a lot of torque on it and didn't like it. So I drilled it out to 5/16 so I could use this one in it. That bugger fought me for 3 hours to try to get this out. And the only way I got it out was, it all come down to it's got to have a little bit of heat put on it. Just a little bit of heat. And you're thinking, oh boy, I got to watch because there's, this is thin brass inside for the oil cooler, and you got this and you got that, and I'm thinking, oh man. Well, she came out. Just a little bit of heat makes all the difference in the world. And now I can replace it with this. And it's fixed. I was really worried I was going to have to buy a radiator because of that stupid fitting. And you look at this one and think, man, is that ever crusty? And man, is it ever. But you know what? I ain't going to touch it. Put some thread tape here, or pipe dope, I don't know which yet. Thread tape probably. Tighten it up. Good to go. I'll probably take an air hose and blow in here and try to blow out any remaining chunks of where I drilled it, but I've been taking the screwdriver which is nice and magnetic down in here, and just run it around a little bit, and you come up with little flakes. So I'm going to continue doing that. But hey, you know, it's in the, you absolutely hate these radiators because they're plastic. For this reason, but I mean, literally, could they not have spent another $1 and put a brass fitting here instead of steel? And then putting a brass bushing inside of it so you can put steel ends to it? Come on, guys. I'll pay the extra $20, you know? So you have something like that that's all brass that ain't gonna rot away. I'm telling you, this is the kind of stuff that drives you absolutely bat crap crazy. But I digress. Ain't that right, Laz? You gonna inspect it now? No, you're just gonna walk on it. Yeah, these easy outs are, that's an ace. Made in the USA. These are old. Really old. Like early 60s old. Because well, that's Hanson. High-speed drills are the best. That says Ace on the outside. But that's what I've been working on most this afternoon. Is trying not to destroy the radiator. To get a stupid fitting out. To replace it. Like that one, I'm not going to touch it. Nay. I'm going to leave it alone. Put a new hose on it. We'll be real gentle with it. And we'll put some grease around it. And on this. And on this. God, this kind of stuff drives you nuts. Like I said, I've spent about 3 hours fooling with this stupid thing. Just to be able to get that fitting in it. And as you can tell, I got a little too close with the heat. And it's a hard thing not to do when you're trying to use a torch. But I did good. There's a little teeny tiny spot right there and this. But I got some heat on it and it's loose now and out. So I'm very, very happy that my little cost me nothing fix worked, because I took this off an old gas filter that another one of those auction deals. I'll show you. A lot of you guys know exactly what this is when you see it. Yes, it's a fuel filter off a gas hose out of a gas station. And I got a couple of boxes like this full of brand new filters. I give $1 for. I've had that on a couple of combines. In fact, works really good when you got a rusty tank. That'll do it. That or a one of these clear ones off of a fuel tank that you run all your fuel through on the back of your truck, like that right there. If you got one that's got a crusty tank and it keeps plugging fuel filters up, spend the money, get one of those, adapt it, put it on your combine, problem solved. They do work, and they work nicely. So, I'm going to call it here, guys. I'm going to pick everything up, put it away. Might even just set this radiator. No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. Not today. Looks like I need to do a little cleanup of it. This is a bad thing with anything that sits on the floor or in this building. It rusts. Yes, sir, it rusts. Just like that. You can't see it, but just like that. I have tools in this toolbox. Wrenches. Nice speed wrench. It will not turn. And I constantly take these out and spray them with PB Blaster and stuff. You can see it. Got rust on it. Rust in it. Aggravating. But that's oh, while I'm at it, on a video someone put up about they were going to build a building. You know who I'm talking about. Up in Michigan. I was told that right there is the stupidest thing you can do for a building. Use Perma-Columns. And as you see, have two hard half-inch bolts going through it. You have 4 bolts here, well, into it, lag bolts. Makes a very strong post. It makes a post that will not rot out at the ground. All you guys that have never experienced the joys and fun of digging a post out that's rotted off, you don't know what work is. Trying to dig a post out to replace the bottom of it, or set one right beside it. When we built this building, that was one thing that was a must-have. And that concrete post, there's about a foot sticking out of the ground, and there's 5 feet down in the ground. Yes, they do cost more, but that right there will make you money in the long run, not having to worry about it, not having to fool with it. I'll answer this. We've had several 80 and 90 mile an hour wind gusts, bunch of them actually, over the years. Building's still standing. You know, these are supposed to break off and snap off and everything else. Well, these have been up for 20 years, and I ain't had a problem one out of them yet. That's one bad thing about a pole barn is everywhere. The post down in the ground doesn't rot. It doesn't rot up top. It rots right at the ground level. That's why when we built this, that was a must-have for this building. Yeah, it costs some more, but buddy, it's worth it to me. I don't ever have to worry about having to dig a post out of the ground because it rotted off. This lumber may be great. It'll last 50, 100 years standing here out of the ground. Put it in the ground and it will rot. But that, to me, was the best money I ever spent, was in Perma-Columns. I think I can get to this one. Yeah. Perma Column. They're, I believe, 10,000 PSI concrete. They have reinforcing rods in them. In fact, this is the first building in Warren County to be built with them. So it was well worth it to me to have a building put up that I knew I wouldn't in my lifetime ever have to worry about replacing a post that went bad. Any of you guys that's ever replaced one, done it yourself, you know how much fun that is. You got to jack the building up to make sure it's in the right place, get a new post set, preload the post, and then drill it and bolt it together. You can use a solid post in that. You can use 2x6s if you want. You can use 2x8s if you want. But, you know, this part of the post, you never have to worry about. Part that's out of the ground. It's what's right at ground level you got to worry about. Because that's where she'll rot off. Like, prime example laying right over here. Prime example of this. Telephone pole. Where does it rot? Right at the ground level. Right there. That's exactly where it was in the ground. See, that part's not rotted a bit. It rots right there. Right where it sticks out of the ground. That's where it'll rot. Don't ask me why. Sorry. Don't ask me why. It's that way everywhere. That's where they go bad. Right there. Right at ground level. If you walked over to the post, over to the house there, you look at this one straight out, it'll be the same place. They don't rot out up there. They rot out here first. I guarantee you take a chainsaw to that right now, and she's still good and solid. Except this end, it was struck by lightning. That's why it was replaced. But that's where they rot out. Anybody that says those Perma-Columns are a waste of money, they don't know what they're talking about. There are people who lack vision Oh, we've done this way for forever. They last. You don't spend the extra money to do stuff like that. Well, like I said, that right there is peace of mind. No matter what happens on this farm in the next 50 years, that is one thing I will never, ever have to worry about. Replacing a post because it rotted off. Just that simple. But guys, I'm going to call it here. Got my rant done. After 3 hours, I got it fixed. You try everything, but you know what it's going to take when you start. But you try everything so you don't have to get that heat out on a plastic radiator. Because you know what's going to happen. Well, I got lucky. That fender door's off. Radiator's fixed now. I'm getting a better idea of where everything in here goes. And now that the radiator is fixed, I believe I'll be putting the radiator in. Do some looking, checking, making sure of, get all this cleaned out, cleaned up, and I'll set the radiator back in. And continue on with the, well, I'll put the radiator hoses on first. Yeah, we'll do that first. I have new ones. I think this is a new one. Oh, lovely. Rodents having... Oh, yeah. Had to go check the other trucks to see, because I couldn't remember which hose goes where. And this outside hose is a hose that goes to the water pump, or this one that goes to the top. This is the one coming out of the block, in, and goes over here. You forget these things. I am really glad I have bolts put up in bags and marked. That makes things so much more convenient. Going through all this mess, trying to figure out what goes where, what plugs in. Couldn't figure out what this wire was. And it turns out to be for my windshield washer pump. This plugs into here. That plugs into that, which I got to bolt up. And front end wires. Oh yeah, had to put a new end on my horn wire. I don't even know if that one, no. May have to add a piece to it. Because, yeah, it's not kind of nice to have a working horn in a truck. It didn't before. It will now. It looks like I need to do a little, do some more scraping and a little more painting. There's always 10 million things to do. But we're getting her done. So I'm going to call it here, guys. We'll see you next time. And as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Sorry guys, battery died. But you got to see what I've been doing on this, which has been a lot of fun. Yeah. Kind of in the, it's got to be fixed. You don't want to buy a new one. So you try everything under the sun before getting the torch out. Yeah. And you got a little what I think of these columns. And narrow-minded people who think they're a waste of time, waste of money, junk, you don't need them, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They've never ever had to dig a post out and change it. If you ever did, you'd want them right now. Yeah, buddy. So, we'll see you next time, guys. Laz is ready to go. Aren't you, Laz? She's ready to go for a ride. Lovely. Well, I got tools to pick up. Well, we'll see you next time, guys. And as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And like I said, I'm getting back on her. Got a lot to do. Got a lot to figure out. Got a lot to find. It's like, I know I put that fitting and hose and stuff up. I just don't remember where I put it. So, going to be interesting. We'll see you next time, guys.